Hello, everybody, and welcome back once again to Subslide Dubslide, a comprehensive anime podcast. It's your host here, Jay, aka Versace Vegeta, and I am here with none other than my dog, Brother D. How are you doing, bro?
Yo, what's going on, people? It's your boy, Brother D, and I'm back at it again. Just another week giving y'all greatness. What's going on, Brother J?
Man, right. We're so glad to be right back with you. You know what I'm saying? We have just gone so far into the lore of the Saiyans in just these first few episodes, man. And it's been so fun being able to break all this down for y'all. I gotta say, I know with myself and Dee, we wind up just going into so much about the Saiyans and going into researching so much lore that, you would think between the both of us, we would have this all in an encyclopedia in our heads. Right?
For sure.
But man, I will say, like, just being able to dig into maybe some places where I wasn't so knowledgeable, or finding out just different backgrounds on their writing and their creation has just been so great. And I know we're only halfway through the season, but damn, this has been so amazing getting into these things with your brother.
Yo, bro, tell me about it, fam. It's taking me back, like even just like going through the Goku episode. It's like, damn, you already know about your favorite character and like
Yeah.
all the things he's done, but just going through it, like it means much more when you really like touch into like all the nitty details about all the feats and the accomplishments. Like it's for the most part, man, I'm enjoying the hell out of doing this.
And man, not only has it been a joy for the both of us to do it, but it's been a joy just getting the feedback from people and seeing what other people think about what we're doing with getting all this out. I know the both of us, we've heard from people who maybe hadn't watched Dragon Ball in forever.
Chill.
And they're getting into digging into this stuff because of the information that we're putting out there just through us chronologically visiting the Saiyans history. So
Yeah, that's so dope, man. That is so dope.
it is.
I wouldn't even imagine like the amount of people that tell me like, yo, I'm going back to Dragon Ball because you guys were talking about it, and especially with the whole I'm gonna go listen to the dub version and the sub version or so. I'm like, wow, I never knew like we could be so persuasive. Not a matter of like, you know what I'm saying? Because back then, you know what I'm saying, people were so to people that I knew back then, like, you know, they were just hell bent on just sticking with one version. You know what I'm saying? So for people to like try out or just check in, you know, see the differences, and it's beautiful.
Especially now that we're older, right?
Yeah.
Because it's just natural that as you get older, you want to stick with what's always made you happy. So to all of you that have reached out to us and let us know how we've re-sparked your Dragon Ball, that fire for Dragon Ball, trust us, we absolutely love y'all too, man. We're so glad to be able to bring this to y'all.
Yeah, man.
Well, with that being said, my boy D, how have you been, man? How's the past week been for you?
Yo, week's been pretty damn good. I cannot lie, man. What can I possibly say that I haven't said before? Just enjoyable, been peaceful, been at peace, man. This is a short ass month, we all know that.
Yeah.
And it's flying by rather quick. But you know what I'm saying? I'm enjoying each day, you know. Going out to eat more and just, you know, taking in some walks, taking in some fresh air. I don't know what's going on. Like, people cannot deny that global warming does exist because it's been 60 degrees out in the winter of February of all months. And hey, I don't want to complain because, you know, I'm able to go out, you know what I'm saying, without feeling like I'm freezing.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, it's alarming to say the least.
It is, man. It's about to be 80 degrees here in Atlanta in 2 days, bro.
That is insane, bro. Like that is like we are not living right.
Yeah.
Dead or not. Like anybody, like please take heed into the situations and the surroundings that we have. This is not normal. 10 years ago, I swear you'd be, if I told you it was going to be 70 degrees 10 years ago, you would look at me like, hey, like
I'm
what?
saying.
So nonetheless, man, I just been enjoying my time, man. I just been enjoying February, bro. How you been, man?
Likewise, brother. I have to say I've really been enjoying just my time as well. I've been digging into just other pieces of media. I've been getting back on my tokusatsu train, bro. Listen, man. You know what I mean? Like it's been a little while since I've been digging into my toku, but I've been watching this year's Kamen Rider series, Kamen Rider Geats, man.
Ooh.
I'm all the way caught up to last week's episode after 1 week of watching this.
Oh shit!
And good God, man, I really, really enjoy it. It's a battle survival series, where you have different people who are chosen to be Kamen Riders, where they have to basically fight through a series of challenges, and after the third and final round, the winner of the survival game, the Desire Grand Prix, gets to become basically gets to have a wish granted, and the world is rebuilt based on their wish. And it's interesting because most series that are like this, it would be like, okay, we're gonna spend the whole show on one game until that one person gets their wish. Like, no, dude, I've been watching this 22 episodes that I've seen so far, and they've done 3 games so far. Like, yeah, it's actually really cool in the pacing and how it's like introducing other characters through different versions of the game as they happen.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, and if if you just love Kamen Rider action, there's plenty of that. The cinematography is amazing. The suits look really dope. I mean, this would be a whole different podcast if I was to really talk about how I feel about Kamen Rider Geats. But yeah, definitely check that out. And I'm about to start watching Dawn Brothers soon, because that's been the Super Sentai for the past year, and it ends this Saturday.
Yeah, I've been hearing about that a lot, man.
Bro.
I might have to tap in.
Everything I've seen about Dawn Brothers is like, this is the GOAT. Like, it's the same creative team that made the Jetman series back in 91. And Jetman, to this day, is still one of the most popular Super Sentai series of all time. So the fact that they got the same like creator doing Dawn Brothers, I knew it would just be fire. I haven't watched very much of it yet, but it is looking like everybody I've seen talk about it knows what they're saying.
I might have to tap in.
Yeah. Listen, y'all know I'm never gonna steer y'all wrong when it comes to tokusatsu, and I very much love my Kamen Rider and my Super Sentai. So if y'all look for some new ones, if y'all haven't been peeping, Kamen Rider Geats and Avataro Sentai Dawn Brothers, that's where you want to get in through. But I digress, because this week, throughout the show, we've been digging into not only the history of all the Saiyans, but we've been covering individual characters. Of course, we've talked about our man's Son Goku, as well as Son Goten and Trunks. But we know there's Saiyans all over the place, right? Some that are more major to the story, some that have bigger presence, and then some that have only been around so many times, or only will ever be around so many times, that we would not be able to dedicate a whole episode to them, but there's enough of them to where we could dedicate a whole Saiyans to.
Man, listen, if we were to talk, oh man, shoot,
because there's definitely enough of them to where we could put everybody into one episode.
Man, we could just dump them in one by one. It'd be long, super long.
That's and we could, but at least for everybody that has a shorter story, we can talk about all the Saiyans across the multiverse this week. So we'll be breaking down just some Saiyans that have a lesser presence in the story. Starting off with the Saiyans that were introduced to in the beginning of Dragon Ball Z with Raditz and Nappa. We'll also be moving on to other Saiyans that appeared in the movies, as well as Saiyans that are from other universes. So go ahead, get something to drink, get something to eat, strap in as we discuss this week the Saiyans across the multiverse.
You see, we Saiyans are sort of like planet brokers. We scour space for planets that will bring a high price on the galactic market. Once we find them, we send our warriors there to purge them of any life and make them ready for sale. It's a very, very profitable business, and we take great pride in being efficient in our work. For example, if we discover a planet with strong inhabitants, we send a team of our adult fighters to wipe them out. But for planets full of weaklings like this one of our babies is generally sufficient to carry out the order.
So my dog D, this is really interesting that we're able to talk about so many different people this week. That I feel the first one we got to talk about is, we've always known Goku along his entire journey. That technically that's the first Saiyan that we meet. But Goku was just the main character. He was just a monkey boy. You know what I'm saying? He was just the Sun Wukong stand-in.
Yeah, that's pretty much for the most part.
It wasn't until we got introduced to his brother, Raditz, in episode 1 of Dragon Ball Z that we even realized that Goku's a member of another race. Outside of him just being a monkey boy, right? Yeah. So I want to talk about Raditz for a little bit, man. Tell me, dog, what was your first impressions of him just as a whole? Not even just like that first meeting at Kame House, but the entire battle, the entire segment of him arriving on Earth and then, getting murked by Gohan and Piccolo.
Yeah, man, I thought it was cool for the most part. Like his design stood out because I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Got the tail wrapped around his armor, the scouter for me, man, that was because that was so unique to me, really, because you're not like, okay, and you got different anime that delve into like the sci-fi aspect, you know what I'm saying, but I wasn't expecting the scouter in no Dragon Ball, that's for sure. So behold, at the time, the whole concept of reading somebody's strength, that was pretty cool. His design was perfect. I liked his little attitude, like his attitude, like the way his presence per se, like it was really cool.
I agree with you. Yeah, because he's introduced looking like a wild man. You know what I'm saying? Like he's got that long hair that goes all the way down to his ankles. He's got the tail that's recognizable for Saiyans. Basically the one trait that we know that they all share at that point in time. Yeah. And with him just showing up like kind of roughhousing, it's like, oh, damn, okay, I get it. I see how Goku was a monkey boy because this is the person that, you know what I mean? Like, this is the type of person he would be. Like, this just wild, strong man with a tail, Yeah. So his design really is representative of just our idea of what a Saiyan is once we're even introduced to the concept, at least in my mind. Yeah. I really thought it was just so cool how he shows up and is like, yo, little brother, you've not been doing worth shit on this planet.
He came on the planet like, huh?
Yeah.
Why is everything still here? Like,
right?
What's going on?
These people are living in peace. That don't make no kind of sense.
Like, what? Didn't you have an assignment to do, brother?
Exactly, right? And once we get to that point, it's there where, it's like, listen, I clearly am not going to be able to get through to my younger brother, so I'm just going to kidnap his kid. And if he doesn't do what I say, well, I'll just raise his kid to be a Saiyan, and we'll go across the galaxy with him.
All right, we're gonna have a little mascot, man.
At the very least, I mean, it probably would have, from a short-sighted idea standpoint, it would have worked.
Oh hell yeah!
They would have had to get some Stockholm syndrome into Gohan or something like that. but you know what I'm saying? When it comes to like just like not knowing the kid yourself, like, yeah, that was a pretty smart idea. Like, hey, if I can't get my numbskull older brother, I'll definitely take his kid Saiyan with me. Like, we'll just start from the beginning with him.
Yeah, shit. You know what I'm saying? The kid got potential. He is half Saiyan. So why not?
Unfortunately, our man's Mr. Raditz does not succeed with his mission, and he winds up getting beaten. But at that moment, as his scouter is still recording, a message gets sent to his team members, Nappa and Vegeta, as they are then deciding to arrive at Earth because they find out that Earth has a set of Dragon Balls. And, you know, this is something where these wish orbs that they've been told about, you know, just through legend, they've never had any sort of access to them. They never even considered going to Namek or nothing like that. So now that they're on their way to Earth, our friends, you know what I'm saying, like Goku's homies, they spend a year having to get as tough as they can, while Goku also does in the afterlife, before Nappa and Vegeta both arrive. Now, of course, we'll be talking about Vegeta later into this season, but let's get started with our man Nappa, man. I gotta say, you know, I was introduced to Dragon Ball Z at a young age. I think I saw Dragon Ball Z for the first time in like 97, 98, right?
Around that time for me.
And around the same time, this has nothing to do with the Saiyans, but it goes into how I look at Nappa and goes into how I probably still respect the character to this day. At the same time, there was a program I watched every Monday called World Championship Wrestling Nitro. Right. And there was this guy on World Championship Wrestling Nitro every week that looked just like Nappa. His name was Bill Goldberg. He smashed through motherfuckers. Oh, undefeated for at least a good 2 years' time, right? Oh, yeah. And this motherfucker, bro, like I'm telling you, when I first saw Nappa appear with Vegeta, you couldn't have told me that Vegeta was gonna be the main villain out of the two.
Absolutely, bro.
Because I saw Nappa and was like, oh, this man's gonna give these guys the spear and fuck everything. He's gonna jackhammer Piccolo to the ground.
and he pretty much did. He was giving them boys hell.
He was running roughshods, stomping a mud hole in the Goku's homeboys, bro.
Yo, he did them dirty. I ain't even gonna lie. Ten Shinhan, he got the beats. That's like I looked at that character differently. Right? I ain't
like this lie. Is a former world champion, world martial arts champion, bro. And he just got, like you said, the beats put on him, bro. My man Nappa put the paws on him so bad that the moment he even punched him, that's it, an arm gone, missing.
Bro, his whole arm, that is crazy to me. Like, what is going on?
Like, this man Nappa was not fucking around, much like Bill Goldberg did not fuck around. So I'm telling you, that first episode, I was like, oh, nah. These boys, mind you, you know, we're American, so we unfortunately had to start with Dragon Ball Z, right?
Exactly.
But I'm not introduced to none of these other characters that are fighting along. I just see that like one of them wears the same outfit as Goku, so clearly he must be on the same kind of level, or at least trains next to that boy. But I saw him get killed by a little midget, a green midget, just right before this. So I was like, yo, if the man in the Goku uniform got killed first, these boys are fucked.
Well, it's over, bro. I ain't even gonna lie, man. It was looking rather bleak. I'm not gonna lie. For a shonen story, bro, it was still looking kind of bleak.
Yeah,
I don't know what they were gonna do. I don't know what form of cooking Goku could have possibly done at the time in my head. I'm like, I don't know what he gonna do, dude. Because these guys, they're supposed to be friends, and they're getting smoked out there real bad. So, what's going on? What are we gonna do here?
Now, it made sense that Gohan was able to put the paws on him for a little bit because, you know what I'm saying, that's the closest thing to him. He a little Saiyan, right? Yeah. But once, like, Gohan was no longer able to do anything, and then my man Nappa was about to let out that blast, I was like, damn, the little kid gonna die too?
Yo, no prisoners, no mercy. That's crazy.
thankfully, man, our man's Piccolo jumped in, took the blast for little Gohan, and that begins really his story of like being more true to himself, right?
Yeah.
But good God.
Yeah.
What a scene, man. Like this man Nappa came on and just was fucking everything up from the jump.
My man did a mouth blast.
Bro.
A mouth blast, bro.
And we had only ever seen King Piccolo do such. And like it was kind of effective, but this right here was on a different level.
It took somebody out, bro. It took Piccolo out. That's kind of crazy. I ain't even gonna lie. That's still one of my favorite techniques I've seen.
Oh yeah.
Like Nappa, like for the most part, even outside of the actual series, like the games, like his movesets to me, super good. I like that little giant storm shit. That was so rad.
Oh man, where
he
he just lifts two fingers and
oh my god, bro, I ain't gonna lie, I was for PvE, man, for Xenoverse, man, that was my move. I was
hell yeah.
That was it, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Nappa got it when it comes to movesets, man.
Shouts out to my man Nappa. And that's why I wanted to make the comparison, because my man Nappa, I feel like deserves a little bit more respect than we see him get. Yes, he did get tossed into the air by Vegeta and blown the fuck up. But that's because he got to get hit by a Kaioken. You have to understand, my man's Goku, Son Goku, he had to learn a technique in the other life. You know what I'm saying? Like basically in the afterlife, in order to stand a chance against Nappa.
Exactly.
Let's not sleep on that.
Yeah,
Goku had to die in order to be on the same level as Nappa. Okay.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I get it. He died early on, and there's not really no feats of strength that he does that are up to a level of the things that we find to be awesome later on in the show. But for a dude who basically had the original Raccoon, build given to him, good God, he really did that early on, dude.
Yeah.
Now, we go from some Saiyans that are introduced to us in the beginning that are major in the story to one that really only has so much effect. But he is the original, the prototype for what we would later have as Goku Black. And that's our man's Turles, who we talked about a short amount of time last season as we discussed the movie that he appears in, Dragon Ball Z Movie 3, The Tree of Might. But tell me, D, what were your thoughts on Turles the first time you ever saw that movie?
Evil Goku. Evil Goku. Enough said. Evil Goku. For the most part, I think we all had a phase where we always wanted to see like how our main characters would be if they were possessed or evil, and Turles did it for me. Because I always was curious, like the way how Goku's presented to us in the series. If he didn't drop on his head, he was supposed to be a savage, and Turles filled that role perfectly. So for the most part, I was really satisfied.
Honestly, and that's what I felt about it too, is that this is a character that we basically are able to see. What if Goku had landed on Earth and never hit his head? Like you said, there's no other explanation for it. That's exactly who this man is. And to think that, Goku would have turned out to be a space pirate with his own crew, what I'm saying? That would have been fire. I would have watched that show. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I ain't even gonna lie, I would too, bro. I'm not gonna lie. It could work as a spinoff. I love Turles, and I love Turles in the Speedy dub the most.
Oh my Ooh, the Indonesian.
Oh my
god,
man. Yo, he's the man, man. He's the antithesis of a Saiyan pirate to the core. I respect that.
Would you like to join me in my army in the space with the Saiyan people? We can drink all the liquor.
He's him, bro. He was him.
For real? He was telling hey, say little nephew. You know what I'm saying? I see you on Earth. You chilling with these little lanes and shit. How about you come with your big Turles? Bro, I'll get you drunk. We'll go out taking over shit, bro. Anything you want, that's yours.
Yeah.
Honestly, Turles did kind of. He put a good deal on the table for my man's Gohan. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Right.
Gohan just wasn't. He didn't have the conqueror in his heart.
Yeah, he didn't have that kind of dog in him. He has the dog, but like it's not no bulldog. It's just more so, you know what I'm saying? Like little baby Rottweiler.
yeah, man. He Gohan got the dachshund in his heart. You feel me? Like just really small, really protective. Will fuck you up. That's what he got in his heart, man. But my man Turles really wanted to bring that out. He wanted that to be the main trait for my man Gohan. And while that was never gonna happen, that was never gonna be the outcome for him. Turles did have at least a couple of good ideas with that one. And mind you, he honestly comes to the same conclusion that Raditz did. Yeah. Right? Because he knew that there was not going to be any sort of way that he was going to be able to bring Goku with him. But he was like, look, okay, this little Saiyan kid, that's another strong armor on the team. You know what I mean? We can go out and get that done with him. So, yeah, not very much to his character, but at the very least, what they do portray of my man's Turles, I loved him. Just much like you did. Yeah, evil Goku. Not much to say beyond that, but the feats that we see him commit, especially once he takes a bite of that fruit of the tree of might, my man was out there running roughshod, bro.
Exactly.
He was the second coming of Nappa for a little bit.
Oh, fair fact, bro. For a fact. And for the most part, I like him in Super Dragon Ball Heroes as well. So
let's be real. They've really given my man's Turles a lot of shine in Super Dragon Ball Heroes, especially down to the fact that he has like an evil Saiyan form. Like
that's so raw.
That's so raw,
bro. That whole series is raw. I forgot a lot, bro. It's kind of raw.
You know what? We might have to talk about that on here at some point. Where it's like, look, I wanna be real with y'all. I'm not gonna get too much on the tangent, but I want to tell y'all right now. A lot of y'all are wrong about Super Dragon Ball Heroes.
Oh, exactly.
I get it. Like y'all, it's like, hey, it's a new anime with Dragon Ball characters, but it's a promotional anime for a card game, bro. Like if you just accept it for what it is, it's actually really fun.
It's really fun, bro. It's for the most part, it's fan service that does not affect the main storyline. Enjoy it.
Yeah, right. Because you was not gonna see this any other way.
You're not seeing no Super Saiyan 3 Raditz in your main story. So be happy that you seen my man with the like, bro, it's fun, bro. It's dumb fun. Here we're talking about Dragon Ball. We damn near encyclopedia of Dragon Ball. And we still enjoy other things that may not seem, not a little bit purist. It's not a purist. Like, oh, you don't have to be.
Pay attention to how much non quotation marks canon stuff that Dee and I love, because that's where the real fun is to be had, honestly, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That's for the most part. I enjoy a lot of the things that most. So I'm not gonna give that a chance. Like, bro, for the most part, it's a lot of dumb fun. And for the people who are longing and clinging for Dragon Ball Super on television again, you can just have your little spin-off over there and get the same action that you're clinging for.
Because for the time being, that's really what it looks like we're gonna have for a while.
Yeah.
But I digress. As there is really another character that, you bring up Super Dragon Ball Heroes, and there's another character in Super Dragon Ball Heroes that I feel like they treat better than the movies he was in ever did. And he's way more exciting to see in Super Dragon Ball Heroes than he ever was in his own movie, and that is Broly from Dragon Ball Z.
Absolutely.
Specifically Dragon Ball Z Broly. Yeah, of course, everybody knows his story.
Yeah.
As a baby, he was born the same day as Goku. he was crying like a little bitch because Goku was crying, and he got mad at that and decided to hang on to that grudge for the rest of his life.
For the rest of his life, like a loser. What a
And that was
loser.
his entire defining feature as a person.
Yeah, like, Kakarot, like, bro, get a therapist, dude. I don't know what they got in space, but like, damn, like, what are you doing? That's a long, damn blooded feud for you to have. Like, from your day of birth, like you're just traumatized at crying. Like, get a life, man. You never cried
bro,
before.
you were also a baby, dog.
Like, bro,
relax.
you never cried before. I'm sorry that you were born with that dog in you. You know, that stupid dog, and like, bro, you ain't nothing. Again, the movies we spoke about Broly. There's not enough. There's so much I could say about how much I can't stand the character, but again, he's an idiot. That's all I could sum it up to. Like, he's not exciting.
What does he do? Not shit.
What does he do? He just, you know what I'm saying? He does.
I will say, at the very least, him being around, much like with Turles when it comes to extended content, has been really cool for Dragon Ball Heroes and things like that, right? Because anytime we need a super boss character to rely on for a new story, they gonna bring back Broly, and they gonna bring back Broly with a new form, bro. Like, this man has gone Super Saiyan 3, Super Saiyan 4, gone Great Ape Super Saiyan, like so many different the damn time mask on him, all of that, man. No matter what sort of combination of power-ups they made him Majin. Everything that you could possibly imagine for Broly has happened in Super Dragon Ball Heroes. And I will say, at least when it comes to him as a character existing for these sorts of moments to happen in extended content, I'm happy for his existence there.
Yeah. If it's not done by Koyama, it's really good. For the most part. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Like, it might be Koyama. It might not be. Maybe I'm giving too much problems on Broly, the character. Maybe this is a revelation. It might just be Koyama. Because I ain't gonna lie. I can tolerate Broly in Super Dragon Ball Heroes. I can't tolerate him in the movies. So I'm assuming.
This is Subslide Dubslide exclusive, y'all. What y'all don't realize is D and I are low-key having therapy right now. And my man D was able to come to a conclusion. He was able to have a breakthrough. The problem is not with Broly. It's with Takao Koyama.
Like, it's him. He stinks. I'm sorry. He just stinks. Like, when he's up in his own ass a little bit too much, you know, he makes garbage. And again, they took your character, your beloved toy, and they made it better. Again, and to the point, they took your original design and still made it better than you. How do you feel, brother? How do you feel about that? Koyama, I know you're just sitting there just pissed off. No job, no nothing. You're just sitting there.
I know you're sitting there at the house off that retirement pension money, pissed off on Twitter, answering niggas fan questions and shit.
Yeah, and you can't do nothing about it, bro. You're tight. You're tight at the fact that you can't write a good, compelling villain. I'm sorry, brother. Broly in Super Dragon Ball Heroes is confirmed better than Broly in those little whatever you want to call them. You can't call them a movie. It's more so like you know what? I'll give you the credit. It's a movie. It's a movie. It's something, all right. So,
but he's right though, man. Like, it's like, yo, there's nothing that Takao Koyama's version of Broly brought to the table that's greater than any of what we have seen him do in Super Dragon Ball Heroes. And mind you, I don't think we even plan to discuss Super Dragon Ball Heroes at all today. But it's important to mention these versions of these characters in this sort of supplementary content, because there's some really cool stuff happening that you'll never ever see them do, right? I mean, one man, Super Saiyan 4 Broly, I'm sorry, full power Super Saiyan 4 Broly fought against two Vegetos at the same damn time. Yeah. He fought against Xeno Vegeto and a Super Saiyan Blue Vegeto. Like,
exactly.
My man's is it. in all these other pieces of content. But like you said, yeah, in the movie he's introduced to us in. Thank God he was introduced to us there, and that's about all I have good to say for his original introduction there.
Broly is the character of all time.
Yes, the character of all time. Now, of course, with Broly comes Paragus, his pups. I will say, when it comes to the original movie, I enjoyed Paragus' character more than I enjoyed Broly's. Just because, like, a scheming ass like Saiyan that's like, hey, yo, like I'm gonna play to Vegeta's like sense of pride to get him to do what I want. Then I gotta get rid of my fucking shithead for a son.
Yeah.
Because this motherfucker is just gonna destroy everything. So I gotta get rid of all them at the same time. I admire the plan. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, it's for the most part, out of the two in the movies, Paragus is like he's the better character.
Yeah,
and I respect that conniving thing, and to make a fool out of Vegeta, for me, it brings me great joy. Without making Vegeta out of character, it brings me great joy to play a fool on his sense of pride. It works.
Because that's exactly all he had to do was just be like, hey, yo, don't you want to be the leader of like a group that recognizes you as the king of the Saiyans? And Vegeta heard that and was like, I'm with it.
I'm here. It's my time. It's about time.
But I mean, this is a conversation for another day, but that just goes to show you how much Takao Koyama does not give Vegeta. But true enough, like just the fact that he was able to play on that, that made Paragus a pretty good strategist for the movie that he appeared in with Broly the Legendary Super Saiyan. Of course, he doesn't like appear at all in the Second Coming, but like there's the flashback of him being saved by Broly, which is like that just goes to show you, of course, Broly would not have ever survived early on without Paragus' raising. And
but the funny part, you know what the funny part is?
What's that?
He did appear in Fusion Reborn.
Oh yeah, you're right. He did. Broly ain't nowhere to be found. But when you see that group of people flying up with Frieza's like getting everybody from hell, yes, Paragus does show up for like all of a half second.
Conspiracy D here, but maybe, just maybe, Fusion Reborn, the idea was probably another Broly movie, and they were probably just pissed off at the movie just being completely garbage and so bad, and just completely erased him from the existence. Because that's funny. Why is the father of the main villain of the past three movies in the movie, but Mr. Broly, Senior Broly, he's not there. So
you know what? You're making really great points because yes, as we've seen, movie 11 ends with Goku getting a message. Broly's escaped from hell.
Yeah.
What's movie 12 about? Villains escaping from hell.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure at one point in time, there was not no Janemba in the plans. It was just Broly. Again. And this time, Vegeta and Goku would have had to fuse to beat him. Which, I'm not gonna lie, is
look at Budokai 3.
The movie we just got. So, in 2018. And yes, Budokai 3, exactly.
Budokai 3? Oh my God, this episode is therapy and revel. Oh my God.
Budokai 3 told us that was what movie 12 was gonna be about.
Wow. I said, wow. Oh my God. This is everything, man. This is spiritual. Yeah. Damn, Koyama, you stink, bro.
You suck, bro.
How you get reprimanded by Toei of all people? Do you see what they allow? Oh my God.
And it's like, bro, like you had one good idea one time and you second guessed yourself. You son of a bitch.
Yo, damn, man. I know I don't like to kick a man when he's down, but for Koyama, I will. 2 kicks. Shoot.
Listen, I'm saying, like, it doesn't make any sense as to how that played out, but it makes more sense for the story to have gone a different sort of way than how it went.
Yeah.
Now, going from some Saiyans that, we were just introduced to in a movie to one we were introduced to in a special a few years later, but still has some relevance in the story. Our man Vegeta's younger brother, Tarble. Now, Tarble, I've always been introduced in this character. I'm sorry. Hang on. Let me run that back.
No problem.
Now, Tarble, I've always been interested in this character because, first off, the idea of Vegeta having a younger Saiyan is just cool as fuck.
That's cool and funny as hell.
It is, because it's like, bro, like, where were you?
Yeah, exactly. Like that whole, like, it's so cool. It's hilarious, bro. Because where have you been? Really, just chilling. His whole presentation, the way how he's introduced is just hilarious. So shout out to Tarble.
Tarble with his little alien wife. Great shit, man. Like, my man Tarble is just like the most well-adjusted member of the Vegeta family. Yet still just someone we never see ever. Like, he of course is introduced in Yo Son Goku and his friends, that OVA that came out in 2010. But outside of that, man, like, we've never seen him again. Even to a point where during Battle of Gods, like, Bulma's like, yo, Vegeta was your little brother. Why don't we have him for the 6th one here? And Vegeta's like, I don't know where that motherfucker is. I don't even know where he is.
I'm not about to waste my a Dragon Ball wish to find this guy. Like, bro, like, for the most part, Vegeta treats that man like a stepchild. Like, I don't care about this kid. So again, it was hilarious seeing him there. Very, you know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of like young Gohan in this sense. It's crazy.
It is to have that same sort of like character within Vegeta's family, right? Of course, Tarble doesn't play a very major role at all. He does just show up in the Return of Son Goku and his friends, where he's fighting against like these two other members of Frieza's force, Abo and Kato, right? And that's really all he's there for. But it is just interesting to think about because like they've brought up Tarble enough minor times to where he's clearly thought of in the story. Even in Dragon Ball Super Broly, Nappa asks Vegeta, like, hey, didn't you have a little brother? And Vegeta just says, I don't care what happened to him.
I don't care what happened to him. You know what? Tarble may be an inspiration for a certain character.
You know what? I am fairly certain that Tarble is the inspiration for another character that we're going to get to. But before we get into him, I want to go right back to another couple of characters that we just talked about. Because while we do have Broly and Paragus within Dragon Ball Z, we also have them in Dragon Ball Super. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on these versions?
Way better. Ooh, actual good characters now. Whoop-dee. Sorry, Koyama stinks. Like, bro, how did they manage years later to perfect what was spoiled goods? For the most part, these were tainted goods. These two characters were tainted goods. Like, I don't get it. It goes back to what I was saying before, Koyama stink. But man, I enjoyed it. I said it so many times. Super Broly is so good to the point where I want to see more appearances of him in the main story.
Like, you're right, man.
Wait, Paragus, listen, I'm not gonna lie, I prefer DBZ Paragus over DB Super.
I can give you that. Because DBZ Paragus had, like, he was scheming, he had some more purpose to him. He wasn't, I mean, let's be real, dude. Dragon Ball Super Paragus kind of a pussy, bro.
Yeah,
he's like, all right, King Vegeta, I'm just going to go after my son. I want revenge on you.
Yeah,
he never is able to get it. And in the moment Frieza's people find him, he's like, oh, yeah, thanks for freeing us. We'll do whatever you want.
He's just a super bad father in DBS.
Yeah,
so that's pretty much it.
No likable qualities. Yeah. He had been basically torturing Broly to keep him under his control over time, man. Yeah, like Super Paragus, while he is a more fleshed out character, is just trash as
Yeah,
a person.
we don't really care that much about him as a person, and I kind of got great joy out of Frieza killing him because it brought a cool moment and a funny moment at the same.
Yes.
So,
Broly, your dad,
like,
he's dead.
he's dead. Like, yeah. So for the most part, he serves his purpose well in dying to bring out the strength out of Broly. So I guess that rocks, but I prefer his DBZ version. Like that's just easy. That's easier said than done. Like
Agreed, man. And even with Broly himself, right? Like it's just so much. There's so much more to like about his character. While yes, of course, you know the supplementary content is always going to rely on Dragon Ball Z Broly as like that sort of boss character that they use for Dragon Ball heroes and things like that. Dragon Ball Super Broly is an interesting character in the sense that it's like, yo, like he's a what if of a Dragon Ball Z character that we got and just fleshed out even further.
yeah.
He winds up being a gentle-hearted Saiyan, just like Goku. He winds up being someone who, he's just super strong and can wild out, but he's misunderstood.
Yeah, for the most part. It's I really here's the thing with DBZ Broly, I can understand his placement in later, in different parts of media because for the most part, in a character like that, big, bulky, strong, like that works as a villain really a lot. But you can't really do much more with that kind of character. With this, you got some potential, man. You could actually slot him in a main character role. So not only was he the better character, he's just altogether great for the story.
Exactly. So much to the fact that we're seeing him still brought up in Dragon Ball Superhero. And it's something where we know this is somebody who's going to be sticking around in the story for quite some time.
Hell yeah. Thankfully.
It's such a joy to see a version of Broly that's like, hey, not only are you a more interesting character to see, but you're also someone who adds to the story by being given a different characteristic. I can't wait to see what they do with Broly in the future, honestly.
Hell yeah.
Now, we go from all these other Saiyans that we've been introduced to Universe 7, but we also have a different type of Saiyan in the series. And we have a group of Saiyans in a separate universe, Universe 6, which is basically the counterpart to Universe 7. And in Universe 6, they're Saiyans, while they have the same sort of traits with, having darker hair, being able to turn Super Saiyan, things like that. Yeah. They're a completely different race from the Saiyans that we know, right? Like these are folks that, first off, they never even had to leave planet Sadala.
Yeah, they have actual, they were actually well-rounded enough to the point where they're actually still living and they're not endangered species. So that just goes to show you things are a little bit more peaceful and sensible over there.
And the reason why is because they're more heroes of justice than just a savage warrior race, which, I mean, it's pretty dope when you really think about it, right? Like, it's like, hey, like, what if the Saiyans had realized that there was better for them?
Yeah. I'm here to tell you, how about being good would actually do better for you as opposed to doing bad and writing pure demise for you. You know what I'm saying? The good does not die young in Universe 6.
And it's really great that they have that sort of ability to realize, like, hey, this sort of like warring sort of sense isn't right for us, because that allowed them to evolve as an entire race to be able to no longer even need tails. They don't require them to be able to reach their full strength. I mean, they're not even born with them, which means that they don't have that problem of having to transform into giant apes, which again goes right into the sort of people that they are, because the original Saiyans that were introduced to, the entire reason they even have that giant ape form is so that way they can conquer planets and subdue other races to their will. These Saiyans don't even live for that.
Yeah.
And because of that, they don't even need that ability, which I think honestly is really indicative of how much they have been able to grow past the original Saiyans that were introduced to. And because of that, they have way more potential as an entire race. Because, you know, the Saiyan race in Universe 7 is cut down to like 5 or 6 people at this point.
Yeah, it's just like it's like a little fan club at this point.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing going on there.
Very much so, man. The Universe 6 Saiyans, I gotta say, I'm a really big fan of just the idea of not only them being a race that was able to preserve themselves, but the way that they even access power is a more peaceful way. Like they basically have to focus on it.
Yeah,
You know, they just have to meditate on it.
Tingly feeling in your back, which is like crazy to me, but it's interesting, really. I do like
and
that.
It's wild because that makes reaching Super Saiyan that much easier for Universe 6 Saiyans.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, the only Saiyan we've ever seen from Universe 6 that's been pushed to a point where he had to transform was Kaba himself, where he was pushed to transforming just from the anger of Vegeta threatening to destroy Planet Sadala. And I feel like that's less anger, but more so pride, in the sense that he's like, yo, I'm a hero. I would protect this planet. You know, I would be able to rely on the strength that I need to fight them if you pushed me in that corner.
I'm a superhero, literally. It rules. I really like Kaba, man. I really want to see my mans in the manga real soon. I ain't gonna lie, miss my guy.
Honestly, my man Kaba, let's talk about him a little bit. You know what I mean? Because of course, it's obvious he is entirely based on Tarbell, right? And yeah. That is Kaba's entire character. Is he's me for real? Because he could not be more like Tarbell, in the sense of like that's who Vegeta would want his little brother to be.
Yeah. It's just basically Vegeta stepping up as an actual brother this time, because he has someone that he's around. Like Tarbell's not around. Vegeta don't know where the hell he is, so he can't reconcile and be that brother he's supposed to be. Like Vegeta now, he has someone in Kaba who's young, and you can actually make it something to make an actual difference in someone's life, especially
man.
So,
so much of the fact that where, you know, he even decides that his reason for fighting later in the Universal Tournament after Universe 6 did get wiped out was that he was like, no, I gotta bring back my little homie and his partners. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's cool. That whole Vegeta Kappa, it really reminds me of Piccolo and Gohan a lot.
Yes.
It's so cool. I like that, man. That whole sensei, like that sensei-ish style for Vegeta really works out. And Kappa's like the perfect man. Like, you're like, man, they hit gold with that. I ain't gonna lie.
They really did. Kaba is a great character. I personally really, really enjoy everything that he brings. Is like the sort of not even like younger sibling, but like student character.
Yeah, very
for Vegeta, you know. And
he's really cool.
No, what were you gonna say, guy?
No, I was gonna say, man, just as far as like his approach, like just him as a character, just not even just the hero, like him, like it's cool for the most part. He just reminds me of something pure. Like he is pure heart. He is a pure hearted Saiyan, and for the most part, that kind of Saiyan is a little bit more interesting to me than like the roughneck Saiyan. You know what I'm saying? The Saiyan that we're usually used to. So that he's a perfect balance. Way super good balance for our in terms of Saiyans that we got.
I think they really need to go back to our Universe 6 counterparts. Because not only do we have a really great character in Kaba, we've also got Kale and Khalifa as a duo.
Yeah,
Man,
they are hell. they are they are some pressure, man, that I've never seen. First of all, shout out to them for making female characters actually really tough, like Saiyan female characters being given, our main character some like real hell. That is dope to me. That's way dope. That rocks.
man, it's so awesome that not only are they able to be like powerful characters, they also are treated in a sense of like, hey, these could be next up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
and really, that's really great for the most part. Like, it's a little bit different. Like the Kaba compared to those two, more so Kaba is like, yeah, you're him. You're the one that's gonna protect this planet. For them,
mhm,
those are just as far as warriors. They're more so warriors than they are heroes. So
yeah.
I like the difference, especially with Khalifa. Like she got it. And I know that fight Goku and Khalifa had before, even before they did the whole Khalifa and Kale fusion, like it was really good. I like the interaction with that. Super good.
I really love how whenever we're just like introduced to Kale and Khalifa, it's very much on some like, yo, they are very, very powerful because they're just able to go Super Saiyan like pretty much immediately.
Yeah,
Kale, so much to the fact that we even realize that, damn, she's female Broly. She's a legendary Saiyan herself
yo,
and could just reach into that power immediately.
it was frightening seeing her. Going, it was frightening. 'Cause I was like, oh no, wait a minute, she's Broly.
Yeah.
She's Broly. Holy moly, she's Broly. But
And not only is she bro, like she doesn't have the immediate sort of like yeah, like she's attached to Khalifa and she's like, yo, like if you mess with Khalifa, you're gonna mess with me. But there's no like, oh, I have this trigger that's gonna make me just go insane. Like,
like,
like it takes her a little while to get there, which is interesting for her character because then it's like, oh, what is it gonna take to push
yeah,
her there?
she's protective and rather jealous for like Wrigley. It's wholesome in a sense, as opposed to like how Broly was more so. It's like it's pure stupidity. That's
Yeah.
like that drives him powerful as yeah. So for the most part, she's really good. She's good, and the fusion works for them as well. So now we have a set of Saiyans from a different universe that actually don't mind fusing, as opposed to like, like, because Goku and Vegeta, that ain't it. That ain't their style. That's like that's on an emergency basis only. And Goten and Trunks, they ain't doing that fusion crap no more. And if they are, they're failing doing so.
Yeah. Because good God, is Kefla so powerful,
Oh my
man?
god, it was a great fight with the whole Ultra Instinct Goku as well. So that's rad.
The fact that she was able to even push them that far, like,
Yeah. Yo,
man, so
yeah,
dope.
they need to bring him back. I'm sorry, we want to see Planet Sadal, and like we want to
Let
see detail. So
Let's give us a Planet Sadala arc, man. A movie, something, bro. Like I need to see my Universe 6 homies pop back in for something, man. It's something serious.
yeah, like let it be like a big threat to that planet or so. You know what I'm saying? Do something. Don't introduce us to dope characters and just keep them far away from us. Like that just makes no sense. And I know Toriyama has that big flaw in him as a writer where he likes introducing cool stuff and then he's like, that's it. I'm not touching it no more. So please
And
tell
I'm
him.
gonna be real with you. The way that these Saiyans are introduced, they have their own version of Saiyan pride that I just love. It is really what what we're taught that Saiyan pride is now is basically the Universe 6 way, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But I dig just the entire, like, hey, I have pride in protecting what I love and care for, and that's enough to make me stronger. Like,
Yeah,
I dig that shit.
it's basically like Goku, the way how he first turned Super Saiyan. It's that sense, and I like that more so. And it's just full, like the way how Vegeta's pride earlier in this series. I prefer Goku's sense of Saiyan pride, the way how they're pushing it now, as opposed to we always get strong and that's just in the no. I love it. I love it. It's a different sense. Everyone has their own different sense of Saiyan pride. It rocks.
Fine. It does. And what the Universe 6 Saiyans bring to it has really evolved what we view as Saiyan pride. And I'm really glad that they play such a huge part in the series now.
They changed the way how we look at Saiyans, really. I love that for the most part, because we needed a little bit more change. Shit, these one-dimensional ass, warrior strength is all that matters. Might is strength, and we don't need that.
we could use a little bit more than just that. And I'm very glad that these Universe 6 Saiyans, hell, all the new Saiyans that we're really introduced to these days.
Hell yeah.
I really enjoy what they brought to us, and I'm looking forward to us maybe getting introduced to more Saiyans along the way, right? Like, you never know what they could do with the story. Hell, even the characters that we talked about last week, Goten and Trunks, are treated so much better than they used to back in the day.
Yeah. It's like they now realize that the characters that they put more focused on, and they see like they can actually fledge them out. It's like, who would have thought you could actually fledge out characters that you introduce us?
Yeah.
Develop it means something now. So I love that.
It does. And it's just gonna get better over time, really.
Hell yeah.
Now, with all that said, man, this has been a really great dive into these other Saiyans that we have. Like I said, across the entire multiverse, we're always going to have Saiyans that are going to be introduced to the story. Of course, you got characters like Cumber and Super Dragon Ball Heroes that maybe we didn't talk about so much, and other Saiyans that will appear in supplementary content. But just know this, right? As long as Dragon Ball's around, there's going to be new fighters that we're introduced to. And I'm going to be honest, 60% of the time they're going to be a Saiyan.
Without a doubt. Like, what? Ain't no, like, you think we going to stop this Saiyan train hype anytime soon? No. They Saiyan equal $sign. Shoot.
But truth be told, with all of it, they're always going to bring more to the story than maybe other new characters outside of just being a villain, because the Saiyans will have some sort of depth to what they're adding, as opposed to it just being like, hey, I'm a wizard. Hey, I'm a guy that wished to be the strongest in the universe or whatever, right? Like,
no shade.
No shade. I love those characters, but let's just be honest. That's who's going to bring more to the story. So you can always expect us to uncover everything that they're able to bring from an obvious standpoint, and even from those things that may not be so obvious.
Yes.
With that all said, man, D, I'm really glad to have been able to cover all of these Saiyans across the multiverse with you this week. Y'all tune back in next week with us as we get started on discussing the prodigy himself, Son Gohan.
It's going to be really fun, I tell you that.
It's going to be so fun. We cannot wait to dig into his life and just bring out some of the lesser known facts about what makes Son Gohan who he is, while also just talking about, what we feel about that character over time, because he has been the most uniquely presented Saiyan out of all of them in the entire story, as he's always been brought to us in different ways. So we want to break down his effect on the story each time he's played a different role on it to see once and for all, what's the best version of Gohan?
Yeah. Might be a little bit controversial too, man. we all have our different views on Gohan.
We do.
I think honestly, he may be the most controversial character in the series.
And I really cannot wait to get deeper into his life because we're going to be able to reveal that maybe his biggest moments aren't his best moments.
Yeah.
But with all that being said, my man, D, really glad to have been able to go over this with you.
Yes, it was so fun.
Y'all don't forget. It always remains true every week, week in, week out. Subs lie, dubs lie. Myself, D, we don't.
We don't, man. We've been doing this. We've been telling you this. Always been.
You're gonna keep with it, my boy. Y'all be easy, man. Till next time.
Later.
Peace.